Hey all you Switch fans, welcome back to the video. We got a great deals video again for you this time. There's big publisher sales from both Square Enix and WB Games, and a ton of other great indie games. If you like Switch content, make sure you hit subscribe. Now let's start these deals. So like I said at the top of the video, there is a huge Square Enix sale. Nearly every game that Square Enix publishes is on sale right now. Most of them are around 50% or more off. It's a long list. Here are some of the highlights. We've got the original Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest II, and Dragon Quest III at $3, $4, and $8 respectively. We have Final Fantasy VII for $8, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered for $10, Final Fantasy IX also for $10. We have Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster for $25, Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age for $25, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered for $12, I Am Setsuna for $20, Neo The World Ends With You for $30, Romancing Saga 2 $20, Saga Frontier Remastered $17, Star Ocean First Departure R $8, Trials of Mana for $25, and Collection of Mana for $20. In particular, I really like that Collection of Mana. Big fan of the SNES Secret of Mana, and I also really enjoyed the original Game Boy game, Final Fantasy Adventure, which is actually the first Mana game. It's included in the collection. If you're a fan of the classic style Legend of Zelda games, that one's going to be right up your alley. Also, Square Enix does publish some non-RPG games. I actually didn't even realize the Turing Test is published by Square Enix. That is a really high-quality first-person puzzle game. If you like narrative-driven puzzle games like Portal and Portal 2, that one's going to be right up your alley. And that game is 85% off for a measly $2.99. I know Square Enix is known for RPGs, but honestly, out of all the games they have on sale right now, that would be my #1 pick. That is a phenomenal deal for that game. So not to be outdone by Square Enix, WB has just started another big publisher sale. This includes nearly every LEGO game at a very deep discount. Many of these LEGO games are at 85% off, pricing them at just a few bucks. What an insane deal, especially if you have kids who you like to game with. These are very relaxing experiences, not high stress at all. They're all co-op, so it's perfect for you and your kid to sit down on a couch and enjoy a game together. The WB sale also includes Mortal Kombat 11 and all its subsequent DLC packs at rock bottom prices. For me personally, the standout there among the LEGO games though is LEGO City Undercover. If you're not familiar with it already, it's basically a kid-friendly GTA style game. It has a huge open world made of LEGO, perfect for your kids to explore who aren't quite ready yet for more adult open world games. So to be completely honest, this is the biggest sale I've covered yet. And to make it a little bit easier, what I've done from here on out in the video is all of the other games you're going to see are either at their lowest price ever or they are matching their lowest price ever. So no matter what game you see from here on out and in the sizzle reel, these are all the best deals you could possibly get on these games. So now these are the personal recommendations of mine that you should check out in this sale. First of all is actually another RPG that's on sale, West of Loathing. West of Loathing is a comedy adventure RPG with non-stop hilarious dialogue. It's of course not a visual stunner, but that's on purpose. That's part of the charm of this game, is that it's so ridiculously childlike in its appearance. It literally looks like something I would have scribbled on the back of a notebook in grade school. But the adventure is large with all kinds of quests and mysteries and puzzles. Lots of great simple but still fairly meaty RPG style combat. And the jokes in this game come at a mile a minute, and many of them hit really well, leaving me personally laughing out loud many times while playing this. So West of Loathing is at its cheapest price ever right now, 46% off for $5.94, an absolute steal at that price. So the next game I'm going to recommend is actually another Western game. It's Call of Juarez Gunslinger. This is a great arcade-style, fast-paced Western shooter. If you want to know my full thoughts on it, I actually just included this game in my new Best of Switch series. I'll make sure that one of the end cards will lead you to that if you want to see my full thoughts. But Gunslinger is matching its previous lowest price of 60% off for only $7.99, a great deal. Alright, so my next big pick is Donut County. Donut County was a bit of a cultural phenomenon when it came out in 2018. It's a simple concept. You are guiding a hole around and it's sucking things down to the earth. The more things it sucks down, the bigger it gets, leading to all these kind of strange diorama style puzzle levels. This is another one where comedy is a big focus, not just in the dialogue, but even the gameplay itself. Sometimes it's just hilarious what you do. For instance, in one level, you suck down a fire and then you get some corn. It pops out popcorn to help you solve another one of the puzzle elements. This is a fairly short game, but it is packed with a ton of fun. It is currently matching its previous low price, 71% off, only $3.79. A great deal. If you're a fan of roguelikes and comic books, I think my next pick is going to be perfect for you. Fury Unleashed is a platform side-scrolling run-and-gun roguelike, but all set in a universe where you're playing as the popular starring character of an in-game famous comic book. It has a very unique narrative where you are finding out that the author of this comic is basically having a sort of mental breakdown, and you are making your way through these classic comics, not only to just simply get to the end of it, but to also find out what is wrong with your creator. It's got great crunchy shooting combat and a superb visual style. This is one of my favorite roguelikes on the Switch. Right now it matches its previous low of 65% for only $6.99. I wholeheartedly recommend Fury Unleashed. Alright, so my next game is Mark of the Ninja Remastered. This is an absolute modern day indie classic. It's a side-scrolling ninja stealth game. This comes from Clay Entertainment, and they are stellar at making games with superb animation. This game is tense, gorgeous, and full of amazing stealth kills. It's one of the highest rated games on Metacritic for the Switch, right now at an 89. You cannot go wrong with this game. It is currently matching its lowest price ever at 75% for only $4.99. Also just on sale now are Crysis 2 Remastered and Crysis 3 Remastered. These games are absolute technical marvels on the Switch. I'm not going to be able to go through all the comparisons of the visual fidelity of these ports compared to their originals on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, but it's amazing. These games look leaps and bounds better than they did on those systems, and they run at a very consistent 30 frames per second. They are both at their lowest price ever for 40% off for $17.99 each. All right, we are now moving into my top 3 recommendations for this sale. I have loved rolling ball games since Marble Madness on the NES. If you love rolling ball games, you are going to love Glyph. Glyph is like if you took the Morph Ball from the Metroid Prime games and crossbred it into a sort of robotic bug. But it's an amazing rolling ball game full of amazing obstacle courses that you're going to make your way through, jumping around, and you turn into a bug when you want to start gliding around the courses. It's all very momentum based. It's actually not that hard to get into, but it has a very high skill ceiling for those who really want to master it and see how fast they can get through these awesome courses. It runs great. I think it's one of the most underrated games on the Switch. It's currently matching its lowest price ever for 50% off at $9.99. All right, so my second top recommendation is Streets of Rage 4. There's probably not a lot I could say about Streets of Rage 4 that hasn't already been said by many other people. One could definitely make the argument that Streets of Rage 4 isn't just one of the best beat-em-ups on the Switch. It may be one of the best beat-em-ups ever made. Visual style is crisp, beautiful. The combat is crunchy, impactful, with tons of amazing cool special moves. It's a critical darling for a reason, with an 87 on Metacritic. This is honestly a game I go back to again and again. Super fun for a quick jump-in session, beat up some guys, feels great. It's currently matching its previous low price at 40% off for only $14.99. One of the pricier games on my list today, but absolutely worth it. Also on sale alongside it is the Mr. X Nightmare DLC pack. I have not actually yet purchased this DLC pack, but this is the sale that I'm going to get it in. But it sounds great, has 3 new playable characters, and a new survival mode. And it's currently at its lowest price ever for 30% off for $5.59. Alright, so we've made it to my number 1 recommendation in this video, and that goes to Tales of Iron. Tales of Iron is an amazing adventure game telling the tale of a young rat prince taking back his land from an invading toad horde. This is actually a 2D Souls-like game. It is tough, but in my opinion, it is very fair. In fact, I think it's a good place if you've never played a Souls-like game to jump in. I think since you're playing on a 2D plane, it's actually a little bit easier to learn those Souls-like mechanics, so you're not worried about moving in a 3-dimensional environment with so many more parameters to have to worry about. But thankfully, the game was updated not too long ago with a new, even harder mode, but also a new, easier mode for people to jump in. If I would have made a top 10 indie games for last year, this would have been my number 1 choice. That is how highly I think of this game. It's got a great visual style, lots of charm, and the whole thing is narrated by the same voice actor who does Geralt from The Witcher. It really does feel shockingly epic for a game about rats versus toads. It is now at its lowest price ever for 33% off for $16.74. I know it's a little pricey, and if you don't trust my recommendation on this, at least wishlist it, so maybe down the road, if it gets even cheaper, you might get an alert on that. Whew, we made it through all those deals, and we're about to start the deal reel with a whole bunch more that you can watch. But I just wanted to let you know, at the end of the video, I'll have 2 end cards up. One of those can take you to my full review of Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and the other one can take you to my previous deals video. That video covered the big Capcom sale. And nearly all the prices in that video are still valid, but maybe for not much longer, so make sure you check out that video if you haven't already. All right, so let's start the deal reel.
Fallen one too many times, feeling like it never ends, back again, square one. Tried to leave myself behind, looking for a better place, not to stay alone. Gain our trust and you chose to break it. Ask for truth but you only fake it. Thought you said what we had was sacred. It's all lies, all lies. I was broken and isolated, but inside held the fire waiting. Not a word that you say can save this, so don't try, 'cause this time you crossed the line. Didn't think I'd go this far, but here we are, the end. Now you're just a lesson learned, a slowly fading memory, so I can breathe again. Gain our trust and you chose to break it. Ask for truth but you only fake it. Thought you said what we had was sacred. It's all lies, all lies. I was broken and isolated, but inside held the fire waiting. Not a word that you say can save this, so don't cry, 'cause this time you crossed the line.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. This was the biggest set of deals I've ever had to cover. Like I said, I've got an in-card here for Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and I got an in-card here to take you to my previous deals video covering those Capcom games. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, Tricksters.